Have a good day, folks. This is your old friend here, sitting by the fireside with a cup of coffee, ready to talk about what's going on in the world. At my age, I've seen a lot of ups and downs between countries, wars, talks, leaders coming and going. Today, I want to walk you through a recent speech by Russian President Vladimir Putin. It's got folks buzzing, especially with that catchy title floating around, Putin's ultimate insult to Trump with Ukraine Reunification speech. US fails, Zelensky panics. Now, don't worry. I'm not here to hype it up like some tabloid. We'll take it slow, piece by piece, so you can make sense of it all. Grab a seat and let's chat. First off, let's set the stage. This speech happened just a couple of days ago, on September 30th, 2025. That's what Russia calls their Day of Reunification. It's a holiday they started a few years back to mark the day in 2022 when they officially added 4 regions from Ukraine, Donetsk, Lugansk, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson into Russia. Putin spoke from the Kremlin in a video address. He called it a historic decision, said millions of people in those areas freely chose to join Russia through referendums. Now, referendums are like votes, but these were held during the war, and a lot of folks outside Russia say they weren't fair or free. Putin didn't dwell on that. Instead, he praised the people there as heroes, talked about how these lands are ancestral Russian soil, and promised big investments to rebuild. Roads, schools, hospitals, you name it. He tied it all to protecting Russian culture, traditions, and faith. Said the war in Ukraine is about standing up for those values against what he sees as outside threats. Pause for a second there. Why does this matter now? Well, the war in Ukraine has been dragging on for over 3 years. Russia invaded in 2022, saying it was to protect Russian-speaking folks and stop Ukraine from getting too close to NATO. That's the alliance of Western countries, including us here in the US. Those 4 regions, Russia took control of most of them early on, held those quick votes, and declared them part of Russia forever. But Ukraine and most of the world, including America, call it illegal annexation, taking land by force. Putin's speech was like raising a victory flag, saying, "We're winning this righteous battle." He even hinted that the West, including the US, just can't stomach Russia's success. Now, here's where it gets personal for us Americans, and for President Trump. You remember Trump won the election last year and jumped right into trying to end this war. He promised he could do it fast, maybe in 24 hours. Back in August, he even met Putin in Alaska, our own backyard, for talks. Trump came out saying Ukraine could win back all its land, called Russia a paper tiger, meaning all bark, no bite, and urged Ukraine to push hard while Russia's economy struggles. But things haven't gone smooth. Putin, in this speech, basically shrugged off Trump's ideas. He said Russia's advancing on all fronts, that Ukraine's running low on soldiers, and mocked the idea that Ukraine could take back anything. It was like Putin was saying, "Nice try, but we're not backing down." Some folks see this as a direct slap at Trump, insulting his peace efforts by celebrating Russia's gains right when Trump's pushing for a deal. Let me break that down a bit more. For US policy, the speech throws a wrench in things. Trump's been betting on his relationship with Putin, thought they could reset ties, maybe even boost trade. But Putin's words make it clear. Russia's digging in. No retreat from those annexed areas. That means any peace deal would have to accept Russia's control there, at least partly. Trump's shifted lately, sounding tougher, authorizing more weapons to Ukraine, threatening tariffs on Russia if the war doesn't end soon. But Putin's speech signals Russia won't budge easy. It's like a standoff. Trump wants quick wins to show he's the deal maker. But Putin's playing the long game, betting the West will tire out first. And what about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky? The title says he panics. But let's be real. It's more like deep worry. Zelensky's been fighting tooth and nail, meeting with Trump, pushing for more aid. But Putin's claims about Ukraine's troops being stretched thin, that's hitting home. Ukraine's lost ground lately, and their army's taking heavy hits. Zelensky said Trump's helped break Putin's isolation by meeting him, but he's urging clearer US support, like stronger sanctions and security guarantees. In a recent interview, Zelensky struggled to say if he trusts Trump fully, noting a shift in Trump's tone. It's like Zelensky's walking a tightrope. Needs American help to survive, but fears a deal that sells Ukraine short. Alright, let's compare this to the past like I promised. Think back to 2014. That's when Russia took Crimea from Ukraine. Another reunification in their eyes. Back then, under President Obama, the US hit Russia with sanctions but didn't send troops. Set the stage for today's mess. Or look at Trump's first term. He was tough on Russia sometimes, expelled diplomats, armed Ukraine, but also praised Putin personally. Under Biden, aid to Ukraine skyrocketed, but the war ground on. Now, with Trump back, it's like history rhyming. Leadership changes shake things up, but the core issue, Russia wanting a buffer from NATO, stays the same. Putin's speech echoes his 2022 invasion talk, all about denazification and protecting Russians. But 3 years in, it's costlier for everyone. Lives lost, economies strained. Now, to be fair, let's hear different sides. From the Russian view, like Putin's aid or state media, they see this as a win. Russia's holding the line, rebuilding those regions, and proving the West's sanctions failed. Putin says he's open to talks, but on his terms, no Ukraine in NATO, and those areas stay Russian. US officials, they blast it as propaganda. Trump's team says Russia's weakening, a paper tiger. And with NATO's help, Ukraine can push back. They point to Russia's economy hurting from the war, oil prices dropping. Ukrainian leaders like Zelensky call it occupation pure and simple. They say those referendums were rigged under gunpoint, and Russia's just stalling for more attacks. Neutral experts, think tanks like the Atlantic Council or folks at the UN, they warn this prolongs the suffering. One expert said Putin's failed his goals. Wanted a quick win, but it's a slog. West's more united, NATO's spending more, but they also note Ukraine's weary, needs fresh troops, weapons. Some suggest talks with China or India mediating, since Putin praised their efforts. Hugh, that's a lot to chew on, isn't it? We've covered the facts, the meanings, the history, and the views. So what's the takeaway? Well, friends, this speech shows the war's far from over. Putin's doubling down, Trump's frustrated, Zelensky's hanging tough. But wars like this, they end when folks talk more than fight. For us Americans, it reminds us why strong alliances matter, and why quick fixes are rare. Stay informed, pray for peace, and remember, in tough times, wisdom comes from listening to all sides. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, take care.